Get it? He's holding a sink. Why? Because you can't buy being funny. Twitter is now an Elon Musk company. Twitter's current CEO, CFO, and policy chief have left the building. Elon Musk, Twitter's most important shitposter, that is absolutely not true. That would be drill, has officially added the company to his business empire after months of legal skirmishes. His first move was to oust Parag Agrawal, who was Twitter's last CEO as a public company. CFO Nid Segal and Vijaya Gade, the company's policy chief, who Musk has publicly criticized, have also reportedly left the building. Musk is meeting with Twitter employees this week and expected to address them on Friday now that his $44 billion takeover is done. It is a Musk company now. Musk originally offered to buy Twitter in April, then changed his mind and tried to back out in May. Then he changed his mind again on October 4th, filing a letter with the Securities and Exchange Commission affirming his commitment to the original deal. Did he change his mind again, or was this just him being held to the initial contract? Wasn't the issue that he had made a contractual promise, then tried to back out of it, and then they forced him to go through with it? Yeah, so he didn't change his mind. He was held to it. Why is this article saying that then? Maybe Insider will have a less biased perspective. 52.20 per share. As a result of the new deal, Twitter's lawsuit against Musk will come to an end after Twitter files for the case to be dismissed. Yeah, okay, there we go. The Delaware judge gave the two parties until October 28th to reach an agreement outside of court or face a 5-day trial in October. One expert say Musk was likely to lose. Representatives for Twitter and Musk did not immediately respond to Insider's request for comment. So, right, it's a sort of habitual incompetence on his part. That's tomorrow. That is tomorrow. They really did hold it out to the 11th hour. From The Atlantic, how Elon Musk could actually kill Twitter. Journalists have been declaring Twitter dead for nearly a decade. That is true. Observers see flagging user numbers or feel an amorphous, grim vibe shift and pounce, often prematurely, but this week everyone is fretting and monitoring. At Twitter headquarters in San Francisco, Musk is doing things like wandering around the lobby carrying a porcelain sink. Yeah, we all saw that in Twitter, didn't we? Get it? He's holding a sink.
You just can't help it. That's okay.
Thank you, Musk. Why? Because you can't buy being funny. That's why. While simultaneously trying to convince employees that he will not, as previously reported, cut 75% of staff. So yeah, in an effort to be like the cool, I'm going to clean up all the waste and really mix things up guy, which is just like a habitual kind of brain rot in Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley guys brag about how they're going to disruptively innovate every morning shit they take. It's just a cancer on their brain, and there's nothing they can do about it, and there's nothing we can do about it. But anyway, another thing that Musk is really fond of is making big promises and then not following through. So he said he was going to cut 75% of staff, and now he's saying, actually, I won't do that, obviously. One current Twitter staffer told me that the bootlicking is next level as anxious employees greet Musk in the hallway, unsure of his plans for the new company and their place in it. Outside the company, power users are mulling plans to bail and sharing a report that Twitter is already on life support. But this. Look, here's the thing. Okay? We have some competing problems here. First of all, Elon Musk is conservative, if not far right. I ultimately think that Elon Musk is a self-serving opportunist whose politics are only as such because he wants to appeal to people who are least likely to tax him. He's expressed sort of political sympathy to China because China has like much more lax labor laws. I think that is remember he said he's a Republican and anyone who attacks him in the next 24 hours is doing so because they hate him. And that was right before the story broke about him sexually harassing a worker and then offering to buy her a horse. Like, I think at the end of the day, I think like his real political affiliation is towards like filling the void inside of him with endless nihilistic greed. And that all the other political stuff like anti-woke, I hate pronouns, blah, 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 that's just him seeing which kinds of people are most likely to dick suck him as he fucks our economy. So that's one thing, However, given the fact that people like Elon Musk have a sort of naturally techno-libertarian bent, the idea that he would follow through on his promise of like total free speech and just unban everyone is not that unlikely, right? Like he might go ahead and like allow Trump. He'll almost certainly allow Trump back on. But like broadly, just like a bunch of the like rolling ban waves that took out a bunch of like far right people or Nazis, those might get undone. The platform I'm sure will get worse. However, there is something else that's important to understand, and it's that Elon Musk is an idiot, and he has no real control over nor understanding of the systems that he exercises control over, right? Like he'll talk about how the Cybertruck will be able to float. It'll be able to cross rivers. And like, no, it won't. You know that the engineers for Tesla, when they saw that, were like, they were like, my main qualm is that I don't know if Elon Musk is competent or ideologically driven enough to effectively kill the platform. You know what I mean? Like he can talk a big game about like a totally free speech, oriented platform all he wants, but in reality, this would require like an incredibly delicate, ideologically biased, well managed approach, which I don't know if he's capable of on his own. He can bring in other people who might do it. He can bring in like sympathetic people, more far right people into the Twitter staff to see what they can do. But can he manage the blowback from advertisers? Can he manage the the public pressure? Can he manage the reputational hit? He fired the guy that banned Trump. I'm not surprised by that. Again, I think that like a lot of it is, well, first of all, he was going to fire like the top dogs anyway, so I don't know if this is necessarily targeted. But second of all, even if it was targeted, this is to be expected. It's like a very easy virtue signal. Um, and he knows who to play to, right? He knows like who his audience is. I don't know whether or not it's going to be like the death of the platform or anything like that, but I do know one thing, and this is an absolute goddamn fact, okay? First of all, there will still have to be moderation done against the far right disproportionately because the far right loves violent threats and child pornography. The far right loves those things. And Twitter, as a social media platform, is legally obligated to engage in some bare minimum kinds of like moderation. So even like a will only listen to the law like approach towards, social media moderation, that will still disfavor the right because they're insane and schizophrenic and psychotic and hateful. So that's one thing. For two, since Elon Musk is primarily interested in money, obviously, yeah, he doesn't want to risk advertiser flight, and he's completely correct there. So the the logistics of capitalism are still going to necessarily constrain, the operation of this platform under him. And third of all, and I think this is like the biggest one, right? This is the most pointed thing. It's that no matter no matter how you look at this, no matter how you look at like the way this platform could potentially be operated, one fact remains the case, and it is that apps which favor the right fucking suck. Look at Parler, which Candace Owens convinced Yi to buy, which was failing. Look at Gab, all of these like alternative conservative social media platforms, which are invariably just dens of neo-Nazism, uh, are horrible to use because they're usually grifts run by right-wing opportunists who just want to make a quick buck off their audiences who keep getting banned for posting like lynched black people in the replies of civil rights organizers. And furthermore, right-wingers don't like being in the company of right-wingers. They don't understand this. This is the reason why when you take a look at conservatives analyzing media, they're deranged and they can't perceive it. Conservatives are incapable of engaging with a large portion of media and communication because a conservative political bias is like a brain tumor. It prevents you from creating and understanding a lot of what we sort of enjoy living with, like day to day. So imagine being on a right-wing media space. What interests, what communities could you engage with outside of right-wing politics or guns. Hunting, maybe a couple. There are a couple. But for like, if you like movies, television, music, sometimes anime, sometimes anime. But if those right-wing social media sites are so great, then why do all the right-wing anime lolicon accounts stay on Twitter? You know why? It's because they know what we know. They don't want to be around each other either. Conservatives don't want to be around conservatives. It's a bunch of humorless boomers who don't understand social media or culture, mixed in with psychotic schizoids who are hateful and impossible to deal with on any level socially. They're losers. They're losers. They don't like being around each other. They like being around liberals in a politically neutral sense and then epically trolling with / arguing with the liberals when they get the opportunity to. That's it. Seriously. It's no fun being in their bubble. Left-wing Twitter is a culturally and sort of aesthetically diverse space. Insufferable, sure, but still. Go on Parler, okay? Go on Gab. How's right-wing echo chambers looking to you? It's not fun. They're insane. You just get like QAnon Trump circle jerking, and sometimes people will talk about guns, and that's really like that's it. Unless you are exclusively interested in just talking about how bigoted you are, you're very limited there in terms of what you're able to talk about. And I think that helps us. It's just we have no examples of a right-wing oriented social media space like really succeeding on its own merits. Certainly not with ad space. So I mean, we'll see how it goes. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. Vaush, regarding terms of service, I think you're dead wrong. Republicans won't prosecute if they're in charge because they support him, and Dems are too weak. No, Quoteth. I mean, I don't think that Elon Musk is going to start allowing child pornography to be posted by the right wing lolicon accounts on Twitter because the Democrats are too weak to. It's a little more the feds would go after them past a point. Like you wouldn't need political operatives to get involved. Are you sure? No, I'm not sure of anything. I don't know. Right wing lolicon accounts got a right wing lolicon. I think it'll largely be the same with a few provocative nuggets to appease Elon shills like unbanning Trump. That is how I feel. I think for the most part, Twitter is going to remain mostly the same. Obviously, I don't know this for a fact. I am guessing. I do not know. I am not an expert. I am not Nostradamus, but that is my guess. The engines of capital are nothing if not consistent. Not consistently successful, but consistent. So, we'll see. Vostradamus, true. Isn't Elon preparing to lay off a lot of people? He already backtracked off some of those claims. Chances that Elon will give up on Twitter and sell it himself soon? He would have to wait a little while for that. If he sold it immediately, he wouldn't be able to get like half the price he paid for it. So, it would, it'll probably have to take some time. What idiot would buy it? Maybe, oh wait, Kanye couldn't afford this. Not even close, yeah. Yee. You think he'll try to flip it after improving it? Ooh, Flavier, that would be really funny if he did a bunch of shit that meant nothing. Like if he made a bunch of alterations that led to absolutely nothing, and then it was like, I've improved it. Look, I fixed up the algorithm doohickeys. Can I have my $40 billion back? Maybe.